Lost 80 pounds, moved to Texas, and my life looks completely different than it did a year ago today. I still cannot believe that it's been over a year since I've given y'all an update on YouTube about what I've been doing and what my life looks like. In 2 years since I've been consistent on creating YouTube content, and 3.5 years since I moved to Chicago, back from living in Mexico. And so, y'all, so much has changed. And so if you're new here, my name is Candace Janae. I am a digital marketing and automation strategist and virtual presence coach. I do a lot. I am a keynote speaker. I am a content creator. I'm a lover of all things Jesus, fashion, fun, food, and travel. Like I do a lot, but this video is dedicated to sharing with you a little bit more about what I've been up to in the past year. God has completely blown my mind, but I want to get y'all up to speed on what the Lord has been doing. All right. So where do we start? Okay. I lost over 80 pounds, and honestly, like, I've kept it off, and I think that, you know, that has just been such a blessing, not only to have found, you know, what works for my body, but then also to be able to maintain it. I know one of the really big things that I was a little bit nervous about when I was first getting started with my weight loss journey and going after these different ways to lose weight, I was just like, am I actually going to be able to keep it off? And it's like, yeah, your girl has been able to keep it off. And I'm just like so grateful for that. And I'll share more of that with y'all on this page. You know, this video is really dedicated to me telling y'all what to expect from me moving forward, because your girl been MIA when it comes to YouTube. And so, after losing all that weight, it was just like, it was almost like a weight not only lifted off of me, like in the natural, but also in the spiritual realm, right? Like, I think for me, like, a lot of the inner work that had already happened, I had lifted the weight, and then like the byproduct was like the, you know, the weight loss on the outside. And it's like, because I felt a certain way on the inside, the weight that I lost on the outside really just was like the icing on the cake. Like, it was the cherry on top. And so it's just been a really incredible journey. You guys can definitely check out any of my videos related to that. I have a video that shares how I lost over 60 pounds, and just sharing everything that did and didn't work. In addition to that, I moved to Texas, y'all. Like, honestly, this time last year, I had no idea that I would be living in Texas. I live in Dallas, Texas. And honestly, if you ask me in August, at the beginning of August of 2024, I still had no idea where I was going to move. Just the Lord was dealing with me about like, okay, girl, you can't renew this lease. It's not, you know, that's not going to happen. You got to move outside of Chicago. And as a girly that's from Chicago, that has family in Chicago, that everything I know is in Chicago, and all of the people I know and love live in the Midwest, it was just like, girl, what? Like, Dallas? And so the Lord really just kind of dealt with me. I went on a tour last year for our company, Epic Fab Girl. And for those who don't know, I run a company called Epic Fab Girl. We help Christian women entrepreneurs market and scale their service-based businesses to 6 figures and beyond. And it really is a marketplace ministry. So we went on tour. We had amazing stuff happening. And I'm going to tell y'all good stuff that happened all last year with that. But when we were on tour, one of our top tour stops, literally the number one tour stop, was Dallas, Texas, to the point that it sold out. The room was full. And I was like, Lord, are you trying to say something? And so I had always had this dream of living in the South, or like somewhere warm, because being from Chicago, it's cold all year round. And long story short, Dallas just was like the answer. I was really excited about the move to Dallas. I pretty much made the decision the weekend of August 10th when I was here in Dallas. And I was like, okay, God, you know, I went back to Chicago. I went to my apartment and I was like, God, like, if you want me to be in Dallas, this is going to be so easy. Like, you're going to make everything easy. So literally, I found an apartment online on Google, doing a bunch of research. And I was like, God, if this is meant to be, like, I'm going to just get approved. So I find this place to like live, apply, and literally in minutes, they're like, you're approved. Now, for those of y'all that are full-time entrepreneurs or have ever been without a job, and have, a side hustle, that like trying to get a place to stay and a place to live while, you are, not a traditional like employee, it can be hard. And when I tell y'all, it was so easy. Same day was approved. They saw my bank statements. They were like, yeah, girl, you're good. And I made the leap of faith and decided to move to Dallas. But to be honest, my life and everything like just started to fall apart once I moved to Dallas. It was like, and even leading up to Dallas, my move to Dallas October 15th. And when I tell you, it was the most stretching season of my life, even though 2024 was a really good time in my life, honestly, it was like the year of the highest highs, but also some of the lowest lows. And it was one of those years where I was like, God, what are you doing? But we know that, in relationship with God, God is always stretching us. And so as soon as I moved to Dallas, things were good for a little while, but a lot of things started to fall apart. And, one of the really big things was like financially, like everything that was working in business was not working anymore. You're talking to a girl who built a multiple six-figure business, who helped other people build multiple six-figure businesses. And then here I was doing everything that had worked for me and had worked for my clients. And there were things that were working for my clients. My clients were getting contracts. My clients were getting new customers. But for me, for whatever reason, things were really slow and things really shifted. And anytime things shift so drastically financially, for me, that's a really big sign that God is speaking and he wants me to shift. And so I made a decision to go on sabbatical, and I literally I was just tired. I was worn out. Even though 2024 was amazing, it was a year that it burnt me out. While doing it, I was cool, but by the end of it, when finances started to shift a ton, I was like, yo, what's really happening? What's really going on? And so let's talk about some of the highlights that happened in 2024 that were so incredible. I got to speak on the same stage as Damon John, okay, in front of an audience of over 1,000 people. That was incredible. Not only that, I was able to host a summit in London. We hosted 3 events in London last year for Epic Fab Girl. And the first one was a sold out, meetup experience. The second one was a 7-figure shift summit. We raised over $30,000 to make it happen. And to be honest, even though we raised over $30,000 to make it happen, we fell short from our goal to raise $20,000. So that was a lot of, to raise a total of $50,000. But even though we had raised that $30,000, that gap of that $20,000 really kind of made us suffer throughout the year. But I knew I was being obedient to what the Lord told me to do, and I knew I was being a wise steward of my money. And so because of that, I was just like, okay, God, this is all in your hands. And so some of the highlights, of course, we did that. I spoke at an event in London. I spoke at 3 events in London. I spent 3 weeks in London just living my best life, connecting with amazing people of God, going to these prophetic environments. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Haley, and she is such an incredible entrepreneur, but even with her, she's this UK-based business owner, and her name is Haley Melinda, and I spoke at her event, The Encounter. I think it was called, Equipped. That's the name of the event, and I was able to speak at that, and it was like God was blowing my mind to the point that I was like, God, this is so good. And even while I was there, I was getting all these prophetic words about what the Lord was doing in the next season of my life. And that was in June. By October, baby, everything started to crumble. It was like bank account on what are we doing? And it was like on some, you're moving to Dallas, but how? And if it were not for the Lord, listen, what's that song? Only God can't do it. Hey, only God can't. No, literally, it was nothing but the Lord that kept and sustained me. And so I'm just so I'm so grateful for the faithfulness of God and for God keeping me. And so even though 2024 was a year of a lot of highs, a lot of moments of, crossover for me specifically, where there were promises that God had spoken to me that started to come to pass. But then very shortly after getting all these prophetic words and all of this stuff about what the Lord said was going to happen in my life, and then everything looks completely different. And so now I'm so excited because, during that time of sabbatical, I really got to spend some time with the Lord. So from about December through February, through the top of February of 2025, I was on sabbatical. I was completely off the internet. I was really just seeking the Lord's face, like really spending time to heal, spending time to recover from all of the things that happened to me in 2024. And I really felt like I walked out of it rejuvenated and reminded of who God called me to be. And so from that place, while I was in sabbatical, during sabbatical, I literally was able to like really hone in on what the Lord wanted me to do next. And it was very clear to me that God wanted me to pivot. And I had been already talking about really serving corporations. I had already been talking about, really wanting to shift heavily into ministry. And so when I came back from sabbatical, I was able to come back with a bang. And I came back and I relaunched my agency. And it's the Candace Janae Agency, where we help churches, corporations, and organizations maximize their ROI and their impact through digital marketing, strategic events, and executive leadership coaching. And that all comes together because we do email marketing, automation, but we are really specializing in, really, for me, I'm a digital marketing and automation strategist and virtual presence coach. And so I really started to tap into my skill set and my expertise. And so I relaunched my website, relaunched my brand, and relaunched my personal brand to really bring into one place everything that I am, because I'm not your average businesswoman. I am a prophet. I am a not just a marketplace ministry leader, but I am a multiple six-figure business owner. I've helped countless entrepreneurs build and scale their businesses. I am a tech nerd, so I am off the charts when it comes to automation. And so God really started having me lean into that. Like, I'm not your average, businesswoman. And so that's what I was able to really kind of relaunch and just showcase to the world. And because I'm here in Dallas, I've been able to create better content and video content, because my video team that I've worked with for years is literally based in Dallas. So when I tell you the Lord has been shifting things, changing things, I got to give y'all a whole update on like my move to Dallas and everything with like that. But I'm not going to waste my time in this video telling y'all about that. But I just wanted to give y'all an update on what I have been up to. Life looks completely different. I'm still focusing on Epic Fab Girl in terms of we're running that, we're really serving in the marketplace and in ministry. But a lot of what I'm doing now is speaking in front of audiences, speaking to churches, speaking in front of women, helping them to really hone in on their ideas, how to turn how to create impact and build wealth with their ideas for the kingdom. And then also really helping do more done for you services. And so specifically helping small business owners, corporations, and churches to really put in place like strategies that can help them grow. So the same strategies that help me grow an audience of hundreds of thousands of followers online and grow an email list of over 20,000, I'm bringing that same skill set and expertise literally to others so that I can help them grow. So y'all, this is my life update. And when I tell y'all, if you learn nothing else from this video, just learn that like, obey God and everything else will fall in line. I went from having everything fall apart to everything fall in line. And when I just say that God is so sovereign, he is so holy, he is so good, it's like I'm literally trying to hold back tears as I talk about this, because it's like at the end of the day, when you're going through the roughest of times and when things don't make sense, like God is just so sovereign and holy. And sometimes things have to fall apart for things to fall back in line. And now that I'm here in Dallas, it's like my social life is flourishing. Like I'm in a place where I'm like more healed than I have ever been in my entire life. And then on top of that, I am just like, opportunity upon opportunity has fallen into my lap. Like the type of speaking opportunities that are coming across the table, the type of collaborations that I've been able to have. I went over 2 years without having any brand collaborations. And this is coming from a place where I would have 5 high 4-figure and 5-figure collaborations and brand deals. And I went for 2 years without getting any contracts. And literally in the past 2 months, I've gotten 2 brand deals and have partnered with brands. Not only that, I have been working in the behind the scenes with amazing people. Like I have such amazing stuff that's getting ready to come out, amazing collaborations with well-known people. I'm asking to get to speak on stage with amazing and incredible well-known people. Like my face is on Sam Cart's website. Like I'm just still mind blown that just opportunities have been coming across my plate that God has been sending. And honestly, 3 months ago, like I was in a place of crazy, like despair of being like, God, what are you doing? Because everything feels different. And honestly, everything felt different so that he could make a difference in my life. Honestly, like when I tell you that God has been so sovereign and he kept me, even while I was on sabbatical, I did not lack for a thing. I had everything that I needed. It was a difficult time of my life, but I can stand here and say that God has been sovereign. And so I'm just telling y'all that like, if the Lord is telling you to do something, just please be obedient to what he told you to do and just trust that whatever he's telling you to do, like it's going to be so much more amazing and incredible when you see it play out. And the last thing, y'all, like I got asked to speak at City Hall for a local DFW neighborhood or municipality. I can never say that word right, but the city of Duncanville. Like that is a big deal in the city of Dallas. Like to even be asked to speak at City Hall, like, and literally it's happening next week. My mind is blown. And I just think about how if I had not been obedient to the Lord and moving to Dallas, like these opportunities would not even be a thing. And so even though things looked really down when I first moved to Dallas, like we on the up and up, baby. Like things are good. They're really, really good. And I'm just so incredibly grateful that God has sustained me. So y'all can stay tuned on my channel for more and more and more content. Oh yeah, and I mean, I posted a video about this, but didn't really go a ton in depth and to talk to y'all about it. But I did denounce the sorority that I was a part of. I denounced and renounced Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. If you're interested in watching that video, you can definitely watch it here. But I'm here to tell you that like when you're obedient to what the Lord says, like it don't matter who don't like it. Like the Lord will come through for you. And for me, I have seen God come through time and time and time and time and time again. And so I'm getting ready to come out with a lot more content, really just around my lifestyle, what I've been up to, my life behind the scenes, how I run my businesses, how I get ready and how I look cute from time to time when I do show up online or in person to look fabulous and all of the things. And I'm also going to share a little bit more about my journey of denouncing and like life after, because I think a lot of people have this thought process in their mind about like, oh my goodness, like, my life is gonna fall apart and things are gonna be terrible and no one's gonna like me and all of this stuff. And so I'm just gonna share with y'all like my personal experience and just how God has been able to get the glory through my obedience. And so I'm so excited. If you have not already, like, comment, subscribe, tell me down below what you're so excited to hear about from me, or what was the most interesting part of this video or update that you love to hear about. And then make sure that you comment and subscribe and stay tuned for the next video. And so I cannot wait to see you. Bye.